Hi, all my YouTube friends. I am going to tell y'all something that happened to us, and this is for patients to beware. My husband had to have surgery on his arm, something like there's no cartilage left in actually both shoulders, so he's only getting the surgery on one shoulder right now, and later on the other one. So he goes to have the surgery. Everything's fine. Comes home, and you can't sleep laying down. You have to sleep reclined, okay? So everything's fine and everything, and it's the next day, and it's fine as far as me, as I knew it was. And Friday night went by, and then the third day, I heard him breathing really, really heavy, and he pulls out this thing, okay? And he told me, he says they told him to use it every once in a while. And so he tries it, and he really couldn't really do it really good. He was having a hard time. So he kept, and the morning went on, and then I'm like, why are you breathing so hard? And so he was winded just going from the bathroom to the chair, and that's it. And he barely, it was really hard for him. So he called the doctor, and then he said, well, it might be a blood clot. I'm like, okay. So he went to the emergency room. Well, he actually never came out of that emergency room because he wasn't no blood clot. He wound up having pneumonia. Okay? And then later on, and then you can't go inside, right? You got to drop him off at the door. Really, really upsetting. So anyway, drop them out the door, wait for the phone call and everything and what they found out. So anyway, they tell me it's pneumonia. And then later on, later on down the day or whatever, or the next day, then they tell me that it's not just pneumonia. He has one of his lungs is partially collapsed. So, still can't go up there. So, bring him all his stuff, and everything that he needs. And then later on, that next day, I get a phone call saying that they're going to do a biopsy on that lung to see if there's anything else going on, because he's still not feeling, that better. And he also has so they're doing, and he uses his CPAP machine. So, he don't like the one up there, so I'm bringing him one up there now. So, so mad. Anyway, so I get a phone. And the doctor came after looking at the x-rays and all that. And come to find out, he was fine when he came home. There was nothing wrong with him at all. Just that one night he developed this. He wound up getting this pneumonia from the surgery, from the tube that was inserted. I might do something about that. I'm like, it's a different hospital, totally different hospital. So today, like I said, they're going to do a biopsy. And one of the nurses, thank God, called me and told me for me to come up there and before he gets in the back to get it done so I can stay there and talk to the doctor. Well, bless her soul. I am so elated. Anyway, that's where I'm headed. So I'll let y'all know. Hi, everyone. I have an update about the pneumonia at the hospital with my husband. So here we go. Okay, so we had to go to another hospital for the not being able to breathe. And so what are they telling you? How come you have pneumonia?
Well, they're not sure, but one possibility, and I say possibility, that it was that they gave me the tracheal tube down the throat to knock me out, and they put a nerve block to block all the pain while they operated on my shoulder. And the anesthesiologist in this hospital said probably wouldn't have done that. Probably would have done one or the other, you know. But neither here nor there. That's a possibility of what could have caused the bacterial pneumonia. And there's pictures of what's in there that they took out this morning, a little while ago.
That's a lot of gross.
Yeah. This pimple doctor ain't got nothing on this. So, but I'm doing better. I'm going to get better. I'm doing my breathing exercises, and we shall conquer and overcome.
But do you think there needs to be a word of warning to patients, basically?
Well, when a doctor asks a patient, what do you want? And the patient doesn't understand what they're asking, that's dangerous. Because the lady asked me what kind of nerve block I wanted.
Explain.
Yeah, explain. She said, well, the difference, one lasts 6 hours and the other one lasts 3-4 days. And I said, what do y'all recommend? Well, most people go with the 3 or 4 days. So I got that one. I'm not sure, but hey. Then I got tested for COVID for the 3rd time, and I don't have it. I'm negative. So, but I strongly recommend everybody taking a hydroxychloroquine to prevent the COVID, okay? I don't have the COVID, thank God. I don't believe I'm gonna get it because I'm taking the preventative for it, which is hydroxychloroquine.
But what made me irritated was that they had you, when you came in here, they put you on the freaking COVID ward. Does that make any logical sense?
Well, they thought that it's a possibility that I did acquire COVID during that operation, even after I was just negative to go in there. They brought me in and say, put all patients that they have symptoms like pneumonia, they'll put them in that area until they know they don't have it, and then they take them out.
Well, couldn't you wind up getting that junk?
Yeah, you could.
And it would be their fault that you get it.
Yeah, it's possible. The nurse at the emergency room, she contracted it here and gave it all to her whole family at the emergency room. But no big deal. They survived. They went through it affected everybody differently. Some people had diarrhea, some people had pneumonia, some people had virus.
Diarrhea don't make no logical sense to me. That's just crazy. That's nuts. Anyhow, so we are supposed to be getting, not too soon, another surgery on the other arm.
And I'm thinking about,
Yeah, but you
all
do.
this, Dad needs one and he won't do it.
Well, he's 90
he
years
just
old.
don't lift his arm up,
No. No. But you're not going to get it done anytime soon right now, though. You got to recuperate from this stupid thing.
That's right.
So, anyway, what would you advise somebody that has to have surgery? You said ask.
Well, just look at all your options and understand. If you don't understand, ask. Tell them to explain better.
So,
And ask what are the side effects, the possibilities of side effects.
yeah. So, all right. So, hopefully our next episode with the other shoulder don't turn out the same way. So,
Get back on the road again.
yep. Heal from both surgeries so we can get back in that rig.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have a nice day, and patient beware.
God bless, and Trump 2020.
Hi, my YouTube friends. Well, we are home, but not without a struggle.
Yep. Back home, and I'm showing this for a reason. After the operation for my shoulder, because they go in through your throat with this tube that sedates you with this gas, whatever they use to knock you out with, and to keep your lungs open. When they finish, they give you one of these, and you suck on it and make the ball go up just right. And they tell you to use this. I don't remember them telling me this and how often I needed to do it. So I used it a couple of times. Later on, I started getting a fever. I mean, not a fever. Started not breathing well when I got home. Out of air, couldn't breathe hardly. Walk across the room and be winded. So back to the hospital we go, and they were afraid of maybe a blood clot in my lung or something. And they took the CAT scan, and it turned out to be pneumonia, and with the lung partially collapsed because of pneumonia. That's what pneumonia does. It fills the lungs up with blood or a fluid, and you actually drowned. That's how people die from pneumonia. And I was well on the way of doing that if I hadn't done what my wife said, call the doctor right immediately. And we did, and got good instructions to go back to the hospital. So the doctor wanted to know what caused this, the pulmonary doctor, a different doctor that did this. So she went in through a tube and saw the mucus in my lungs, sucked it out, pumped me up with the right antibiotics based on what was in my lung, and I'm starting to get much better now, much better.
But without not.
But then I was told, you better be using this thing every hour. They told me to do watch your TV. When a commercial comes on, use it. So you can figure that's every 15 minutes. I'm putting this in my mouth and doing it. That's how much exercise you have to do with this. That's what prevents pneumonia. So if you go to the hospital and you got to have some kind of surgical process and they hand you one of these, you better well use it exactly how they tell you. Ask her how often, and if they tell you like how you did, you better do it. I think that was my problem. I was reluctant in doing it is every 15 minutes,
But they didn't tell you that in the beginning, or you could remember
I
that.
don't remember. I was half cockeyed,
But you're saying this though, but this was out with that surgery had another complication, that second surgery.
Yeah, well, I started having a fever after wasn't a surgery, it was a procedure where they go in and along with a camera and suck all that mucus out. That caused me to have a little fever. And then everybody I know that's had it said, yes, it will cause a body to have fever because it's intrusive of something coming into your lungs. So the body automatically sensed it and started bringing fever, trying to kill the bacteria with fever. And I didn't get a high fever. I got a 100.01 or something like that. But it was just enough to make me freezing cold, shivering. and they brought me Tylenol and knocked it out. But back home, alive, exercising regularly with this, and thankful I got a loving wife to help me recuperate. If it wasn't for her, I would not be here. Thank you very much. God bless. And go Tigers.